Sexy souls, I'm here. I'm just like, I have realized that the bright light that I have, when I have it too bright, is giving me headaches afterwards. So I'm trying it with a 3, and I'm making sure that y'all can see me, like, but that's not dark in here because the light outside, it comes and goes. It's gonna rain later today, but it's not raining right now, and it better not. My little baby is having his field day at school. Hey, Terry, how are you? Terry, you cracked me up. What time is it there? Like, I swear to you, I knew that you were not necessarily American, right? But I have no clue. I felt like you're what is it? Like the way that you always come on, I felt like you were in the US. I don't know why. Good God. And so, like, when you were like Taiwan, I'm like, what? Okay. Like, I knew, but I don't know why, because I know you were in school and you had to finish and you had to do all that good jazz and all kinds of stuff. So it's like, for me, it was just one of those things where I don't know why, but you were always like right on time to join me. So, gotcha. Oh, so this is like your wind down time, right? Okay, gotcha. How are you, girlfriend? You'll be so proud of me. I've started a different routine where I'm getting up in the morning and I'm getting going without the coffee. I only have it if I come on here with you all. It still has my cocoa in it, and it colors my tongue really. My tongue looks dirty because of the cacao that I put in it. But whatever, like, I am keeping it up. Still doing my flush and everything. So there you go. Anywho, I was massively enjoying a couple of things happened before I came on, right? So I'm trying to get in the groove, and I get a call from my middle son, my 13-year-old, his dad, and we are chit-chatting and we're joking around because, like, so my middle son has a ton of siblings. Okay. On his dad's side, he's got 4 other siblings. And on over here, he's got 6. So including him, that's 7 kids. Like, he's one of 7 children. Right. And so he's used to the big family. So there's always a birthday, there's always something. And it was funny because, like, he was just calling because, like, you know, his sister threw something together at the last minute. But today, my little man is going to an 8th grade banquet / dance. And I was like, oh, look at you, kind of thing. And so, anyways, so he and I are just chit-chatting about girls and how he's like, ugh, right now for the most part with a lot of them, right? And so we just had this really fun conversation about our child growing up, and I'm like, you need to keep me in the loop, and like how he generally acts like, girls are just like, ugh, he couldn't care less that they are existing around him unless they're one in his friend group, but like for the most part. And then, like, seeing him actually like poke fun and joke around with, and that kind of, like, you're like, are you flirting? Is this like, we're trying to figure out our son, right? We're just over here trying to figure out our son. So that was a good little fun conversation. And then I'm jamming the music, and like every time I'm like, oh, this is a good song. And I'm like, is there something there? And I'm like, to me, it was like one good song after another. And I was like, oh, and some of them were throwbacks. Okay. Like songs that came out before some of y'all were born, or maybe you were like 2 or 3. Okay. And I'm over here jamming. Like some Usher and all kinds of stuff. Andrew Day. Okay, that one's newer, right? Nelly Furtado. Like, I'm just saying, shit was coming on. I was like, what is going on? I was just having fun, right? And so that's what the energy. I was like, okay. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, why does it feel so good? And then I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to see if there's something connected, but nothing is like 100%. But it's always a good thing for me to have like that good energy before I come on, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay. So as soon as I go to type something, right? I know it's not a coffee and tarot type of thing. They're more like, first they tell that they're like, they said immediate future, right? And I'm like, oh, so I'm like 72 hours. And they're like, well, and I'm like, okay, so more than 72 hours. I was like, so like the next 3 months, they're like, imminent future. So I had to put that on there. I was like, okay, so we're talking about something very soon, very close. They want to focus on the absolute here and now. So this is like energy that feels like it's really close in, right? And I was like, okay, but it's not 72 hours. I don't know. So I'm gonna make the assumption we're looking at like the next week or so. Definitely not beyond that, because that's not imminent. Imminent is like it's about shit's about to go down, something's about to happen. But there was something about maybe for some people it lags a little bit. I don't know. Like they didn't want me to put the 72 hours. I had to erase that. I was like, okay. So I have no clue where this is going. Just FYI in that. Okay, those lights are still bright. I'm gonna like move them out. Neurodivergent people have difficulty sometimes with like fluorescent type, and these are LED, but they have the power of fluorescent lights, crying out loud. So, alrighty. So I don't really know where this is gonna go. I did go for my walk and everything. That's why I'm on my thingy dingy. My workout clothes is what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. My thingy dingy. Whatever. Okay. Girl, look at you. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. So, and it's feeling good. I like my coffee. And the funny thing is, I do half calf, and they're still like, it's time to decrease. Like I started juicing again. I'm like, good. I just got to get back into my good habits. And here's the thing, why I kick and scream sometimes or lag on it, I don't know, because I always feel really good. And I actually like it. It's just like the idea of getting back into the swing of things. It's like, ugh, you know what I mean? Like anytime you have to redo your routine for whatever reason, like, especially if you're neurodivergent, just a shift. And you're like, I don't know why, because I know I love it. It's stupid. It is what it is, guys. Welcome to my world. So I'm definitely feeling something off the Starman Tarot. I don't think that's actually where we're starting though. I want to say there's something to the dancing part. Like there's some sort of movement that's meant to happen. That's, we usually have these closer to the end. They want to start with this. I'm going to shuffle it really good. Ooh, these pictures are so gorgeous on here. I like this deck. It was a big surprise to me how much I like this deck. Just saying. Alrighty. Okay, you know what? I know there's people here. I don't know what the problem is. Like, me too. Actually, there was a little bit of a period where it was like I kept feeling like I would get like the inclination to dance, like I need to dance. And as soon as I put the music on and like I'm by myself doing my thing, it's like my body's like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, YouTube's doing the thing again. Like, there's something up. Like YouTube is a lie. YouTube's lying. It's showing that there's nobody in here, but you're talking to me. It's a lie. It's like YouTube has it out for certain people. Just, I hear all these stories about TikTok and how people are like, the algorithm does this and the like shadow banning it. Fucking YouTube. YouTube does that shit too. So anywho, and it's like they will not let this get beyond. I'm gonna get around it though. Like once a week. Oh, hold on. I'm okay. I think it's intentional. There's been proven that with other places, like other platforms, that they'll promote and boost certain creators of their own free will, like out of their own choice. And I think that's exactly what happens. I don't think YouTube's any different. I gotta be honest with you. How they pick and choose shit. Thank you. Okay. One more time. It better not rain. You better not. My baby gets at least a half a day because they do their field day outside with all kinds of fun activities, and he's been so excited all week. Hello, everybody. Okay. That doesn't feel. Okay, so we've got this, and I feel like the waning crescent's supposed to go first. I don't know why. So let's see what's going on here. We'll start there, and then we will kick it off. I don't normally do these first, but that's what we're doing today. Yesterday was a good read. Yesterday was a really good read. Okay, here we go. The waning crescent indicates a time for psychic visions, prophetic dreams, and spooky experiences, synchronicities, basically. It's a period of leaving past behind and taking the lessons you've learned with you as you move forward into a new phase in your life. Greater wisdom than you had before. When you pull this card, it can mean that you're still feeling the pain of old wounds and scars, that you are not yet fully healed, so be gentle with yourself. A paper cut takes seconds to inflict, but days to heal. This card is also one of strong enchantment, and if you've pulled it as your personal card, it would suggest that you have an affinity for magic and spell casting. The waning crescent has a very protective energy, so know that you are guarded on your magical path. This is like, okay, it says it suggests a time of transition where you can still feel a little bit of the old. Like there's still like, I want to say it's kind of like remnants. It's kind of like that muscle memory. Like there's like, it's a really magical time. You know you're moving towards something great, but you can still feel the old energies. Like you're still shedding and cleansing and purging some of that stuff out of your energetic field. And so because it's in the not too distant past that you were experiencing it, you still have this. It's kind of like having the migraine and you get rid of the migraine, but you end up having like the, what I call the halo headache, where you feel the remnants of it still. It's like the echo is still present. And so it's not so far in your past that it doesn't, that you still can't sense it. Does that make sense? So you can still sense what you've left behind. I don't think that there is necessarily like, just like when I said, when there's a surgery and you have the healing process, but then you have the rehabilitation afterwards. So it's kind of like it's not such a distant memory. The memory is still very vivid in your mind. And so because of that, you can still tap into those energies that you were experiencing. And so there's this notion of that might still be present, but it's actually, you also are feeling that very magical energy of like something really great things are happening. And so it's a weird place to be, to feel like you kind of can feel both at the same time. It's like, how like somebody can be like, somebody may not be touching you, but if they're close enough, you can sense their energy, or you can feel their breath, or you can feel something. You ever just turn around sometimes because you feel something in your body, but there's nothing there? It's that type of energy, right? But yet there's all this, but you sense, feel, and can see the transformation happening and the good things coming in. So it's just a weird space is the way I want to say it. And it just talks about being in this liminal space. You may be getting intuitive hits, like prophetic downloads. visions of things that are to come or that are about to happen. Okay. And so you may have, because of the fact that you can kind of feel the old energy, this uncertainty about what you're receiving intuitively, through downloads, psychically. What is it that like it may color a little bit, right? How, like, not even how you interpret it, but your willingness to accept it as something that's prophetic, as a possibility. So it's a weird time. Is what I want to say. It's a weird time right now. Is what it feels like to me. And that's what this is meaning. You're just in this weird space. Like caught between two worlds, right? A little bit. Wrong one. I was about to say. Okay, so Moonchild. Shit. Not. No. It's Star Child. I like how it starts. You're a cosmic child of the universe, and you have stardust within you. You're protected by universal energies. I think they're just trying to say, despite you being able to still feel like the energies of the past, like you can still, because the memory isn't so distant, you can still kind of tap into that energetic frequency. It's like, don't worry about that. The fact that you can still, like, the mere thinking of it elicits and brings up the energies of it again. It's like almost too easy to tap back into what that felt like. Don't let that fool you. You are protected. You're getting guidance right now. Okay? Just don't let that fool you. That doesn't mean it's still here. A higher power walks beside you, guiding your steps, helping you to overcome obstacles. Call it whatever you want. Angel, deceased loved one, a familiar, a spirit guide, or a star child. Whatever it is, the universe, spirit is with you right now, guarding and protecting you as you experience the lessons and wisdom you're here to discover. This card wants you to know that you will always have this protection, and you can call upon it in any time that you feel worried, afraid, or intimidated. They're giving me this thing of where someone may feel like they weren't protected from something, but like technically you were, because the worst that happened in this last phase was damage to your ego more than anything, right? You may have suffered some, but if you were to look at the grand scheme of all the things that could have gone wrong and all the things that could have happened, and the negativity that exists in the world, you were fairly unscathed. You had to deal with things that created turmoil within you and put pressure on you. And you had to live and exist in environments that did that. But at no point were you fighting for your life on death's bed. You were not having to fight through like war happening on your front doorstep. So it's one of those things where it's like the level of torture you experienced was more internal than anything else, because it was not what you wanted, because you saw yourself in a different space, and what was external to you did not match your internal realm, like what you knew to be true for you. And sometimes the waters are rough when you're trying to get across to the other shore, but they're giving me, for whoever this is for, it's that energy of they could jokingly go, but did you die? It's one of those things where it's like, it really wasn't that bad. I know there are other people that could come up and be like, that's it. That's all you had to deal with. Could you imagine this? And it's like, if you were to put it into perspective, while it felt like ego death after ego death after ego death after ego death after, like, it felt torturous to you, but it really wasn't. And so it's like the idea that you weren't protected, knowing what could have occurred in your world. you were, even from things that you aren't aware of, that you weren't prepared for. If you thought that was torturous, imagine entering into a time frame and experiences within your 3D reality that your internal realm is not prepared for, and what that can cause. Think of all these child actors who go into these scenarios who are just not ready, prepared, or in the capacity to deal with those types of dynamics, and what happens to them as a result of what they are exposed to. Is that kind of perspective. It's like, let's talk about what protection really is. It says spiritual protection helps to alleviate those fears and nurture greater confidence. Have faith that you are safe and you will be receiving guidance. So you may be fearful of what you're walking into because you can still feel the energy of the past, and because the past isn't so distant that it's all too easy to tap into the energy of that and the remembrance of that, right? And you may still have physiological responses when you do that, but it's like, and so because you can still sense that and it feels close, like, get off of me, it's there. The fear, you may experience fear as you're walking forward into the new. And I think that's why they're saying, don't worry, you're getting the guidance. Because that's 2 cards in a row saying you're going to be receiving guidance, information, downloads, and like prophetic information. And it's like, it's to help you, walk the steps that are right before you. And so it's reminding you to listen. It's like there's no need to fear because you will be in communication, is what I want to say. They're giving me, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Does that make sense? Anyways, and then we're going to go to the first quarter. It's like I heard there's a fear of a repeat cycle, repeating something, because it's not too distant past, so you can still feel it. And it's like, don't worry about that. Like, don't focus on that. Focus on what you're receiving, the information you're receiving. Okay. You were in a chaotic turmoil internally, so you couldn't really hear, integrate, or understand the guidance you received before. And frankly, I think some of it was you didn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And so you ignored it. And it's like you're in a different space now and you're moving forward. And they're asking you to pay attention, listen, and integrate the information you're getting, whether it's from dreams, visions, intuitive hits, things like that. Okay. First quarter moon. Hey, Blueberry. It's just a long time. Look at you. Been a hot fucking minute. You get finals next month. All right. First quarter moon. Here's the thing. Remember, they're talking about imminent future. You are protected, but the outcome of the events that are about to unfold hinge on you and whether or not you're going to listen to the guidance and trust it and believe it as the guidance that you're receiving and not dismiss it. Because the first thing out in this fucking card, it literally says things are still hanging in the balance and can go either way, but the outcome is dependent on you and your actions. It is up to you to ensure that you remain on track and stay motivated. Don't give in or give up now, as you are closer to success than you think. It suggests that challenges might be thrown to you and you may feel tested. The feeling of being tested frequently happens when people are close to achieving their dreams. Because that's the idea of, I can sense it, I can feel it, but the remembrance of the past is so close. It's like, I know, and it's like, just keep moving. Every time You get that intuitive hit, you get the premonition, you get the vision, the download, act on it, and just keep moving forward, right? When you're going through a maze or a haunted house and you can't see before you, you feel around, you keep going. You don't fucking stop, bitch. You don't stop and wait for some shit to catch up to you. You keep going, right? That's the energy of this. Remember that what you focus on is what you get. Focus on your dream. Follow the guidance. Oh, I lost my place. Keep your goal in mind and stay motivated. And then they start talking about visualization exercises, and I'm like, okay, so something about what's happening here in the imminent future over the next course of the week is almost like you have to keep going, you have to keep moving, and it's like don't let the notion that the turmoil isn't that far in the past, right? The further away you get away from it, the less likely it is to color your present moment, how you feel about it, your guidance, that kind of stuff. So it's all too easy with that muscle memory for your mind to go back to old tricks, right? And they're saying, don't worry about it. You're getting the guidance. Trust it. You're so used to arguing with the information that comes through and the intuitive hits and the visions and the downloads, because your ego was so wrapped up in dying a million times in the last little phase that it's like you're going to want to not just, it's like it doesn't feel right to be so peaceful about what comes through and to just act on it, because you had such a difficult time doing that before. And so it's like you feel like you might hesitate. But here's the thing, I feel like somebody's asking, like, okay, now what? And like someone's in conversation, like I said before, with spirit. There's a conversation going. And it's like you're going to be getting real-time answers. Are you going to listen? Are you going to take it for what it is? Are you going to try to dismiss it? Are you going to be fearful because you can still sense the past? Like I feel an energy on my left side, like behind me, right back here. Like I feel like, and I feel like I'm in somebody's energy. Like most of me is free, but there's a little part of me, and I want to say it's like attached to my wing, so to speak. You know, like the feeling like you're half in, half out. That's what it feels like. Okay. Let's talk about these visions, these downloads, what's about to come through, what it pertains to, that type of thing, spirit, okay? Okay. We'll get to you. Madame Endora's fortune telling cards. That flew out like it's not even funny. It says, fate has blocked this path for you. Fate is more based upon your choices and decisions and what you're doing. So it's like something can be destined for you, but your fate may be something else because based upon your reaction to circumstances. There may be an avenue you thought you were going to go down, or something that you thought would be a part of your path, and it's going to be blocked. And take that as part of your guidance. Okay? Because they've got fate has blocked this path for you, then darkness looms on the horizon. Because it's almost like if sometimes when we think that we see things clearly and an element is removed and we're like, okay, so I'm not really quite certain then if that's not the. And so darkness looms on the horizon is more like, again, going through the maze where it's like I can't necessarily see um all the aspects. So it's like there might be information that you feel is missing. And that might be why you would hesitate, right? You get downloads and you're like, okay, but that doesn't make sense because, and they're like, just listen, follow, move along. Because then it's like, on the other side, we have good fortune and friendship, and then love and prosperity. So let's take a look at both of these. Let's find out what they're saying, because I feel like these are two different things. I do feel like this has maybe a sense of more of the past to it. Like oh, it is. Okay. Well, that would have been. So this is like areas that have been blocked off for you. This is what you've been feeling like. This is why this is the recent past. This is why it feels like it's still there, right? Like when your mind would argue with like there's so much turmoil and chaos within your mental realm that nothing could really get through, right? And even if it did, it just seemed like another idea or notion, and it was easily dismissed. And it was like, oh, this doesn't make sense, because not all the elements were there, that kind of thing, right? And so this is what you're moving from. This is an energy that's still could still have a little bit of influence because it's too easy to tap back into that, like somebody who has a leg that's amputated, right? And for the first year or so, it's like you get these phantom feelings, right? Or like women who have phantom kicks, even though they're not pregnant. It's like they have these phantom, like they're not real, but they can still feel it like it's real, kind of thing, because of what their body or what they have experienced. So we're gonna delve into that a little bit. There's obviously a message there where it's like a transition. So all of this, we're talking about this transition, helping you through this transition, and apparently something about the imminent future plays an important factor in this transitory period. Okay, so let's focus a little bit, get a little bit more information on. Okay, new era elements. Fate has blocked this path for you. So there's been maybe attempts that have been made in the past to do certain things and it was just thwarted. That's like my favorite word lately. Darkness looms on the horizon is maybe because of that. You feel like maybe there's a path, like a certain aspect of, like I said, the future that ends up being removed, and you're like, uh-oh, and it reminds you too much of what you've come from, and so it feels like the darkness might loom on the horizon. Let's figure this one out, get more specific about it. Definite change. More. So there's just too much of that in the past. We got the Knight of Swords, which is my pivot, my start change, things being cut out, removed, swift trajectory change, right? Because the Knight of Swords is he comes rushing in on his horse, cuts things loose, cuts cords loose. It's the sword is the sword of truth. It's your path. So that's why I call it the 180. Like it is. I don't want to say monumental. It is stark change. Okay. And then we've got the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Swords. Like, I feel like he's rushing in. Now, obviously the picture on here is not the same, right? But he's rushing in to change this. There's a chance. Okay. I was not going to try and say that word, but that just fucking came out. There's a chance to change this quickly that presents itself and start new. So the fact that the Knight of Swords and the Fool card flank these 2 cards is why I'm saying this is the energy that is just too easy to tap. Like this is what you're coming from and it feels too close to you. So you're not completely 100% purged of this, only because all you have to do is tap into the memory of it, which our mind is really great at doing. And it's like suddenly the energy comes back up and you can almost feel it is what it feels like to me. Okay. And so, but the Knight of Swords are telling me is that change that I keep sensing is almost like what you thought was going to be on your path, or like you, or maybe it's just something that you didn't anticipate. Like you see things as they are, and you're like, okay, moving forward, and then like whoop, a change, and something new is introduced, and you're like, shh, okay, I did not anticipate that one, and it feels different. It creates a pivot that you were not. This is very unexpected. This is a quick shift. That's why they're looking at the imminent future. But it's something new. It's something very brand new. It presents like a new path. So there's a quick shift on the heels of this disappointment, this grief. And you got to remember, the funny thing about the swords, Three of Swords, is it's our attachment to something that was so painful that we couldn't seem to let go of, right? And then we've got the Five of Cups of we couldn't let go of constantly seeing the negative and fearing the negative, right? So like we were so in all the shit that had gone wrong that we were like automatically projecting into the future shit was going to go wrong. And that's changing, okay? Like there's a quick shift from that. And I want to say that's not where you're at, but it is going to be all too easy to kind of like, it's almost like muscle memory. That's going to be almost your first response, right? And you are having to make a concerted effort to go, okay, no, kind of thing, right? It feels too familiar still. Okay. Anything else on that? Apparently there is. Oh, nice. Oh, very nice. We have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, which is taking action, and then we have the Ten of Swords. Like but the thing about this particular one is change. Like I just told you, I'm telling you right now, there's a shift that's about to happen for some people here. There's a shift in the imminent future that's about to happen, that almost like you feel like you're walking down here and then it's like whoop, and you're like, oh, okay. It could be one thing that's introduced into a situation that then changes the entire dynamic of it, and you're like, okay, well that changes things. Yeah, I don't really know how this is going, guys. I wasn't planning for that. It's not bad though, okay? However, because the past is still so close, you may be very inclined to panic, right? And think of all the negative that could come from the pivot. Like shit that ain't even happening. But your brain goes, oh, what if? You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be really careful with this new beginning. Like this new beginning is going to create a pivot that's exceptionally important. It takes you away from the Ten of Swords. It takes you from the Ten of Swords to the Ace of Swords. It is the brand new beginning of a path. The worst of it's over. Something new begins. Okay? This literally just reiterated what the other cards were saying. They're like, no, we meant what we meant. Don't keep going on that one. All right, so good fortune and friendship. I do feel like there's something in the middle. Like I want to ask about this change. We got the between, okay, so we're focusing on these three cards, right? Or these four cards. This is what I'm going to do. All right, we understand that there's a part of us that wants to go, but it's like, it's not bad. Star Child. They're like, try to think that, and the first quarter, they were like, vision boards. Think of the different possibilities. That was the last sentence, and I didn't want to read it. Remember? Yeah, that's what they're saying. When this change happens, think of all. Instead of going into the old mode of I'm going to think of everything that could possibly go wrong, and then feel like tormented because of it, and like intentionally focus on all that could happen good from this, okay? All the good that can come from it. That is your focus. So I'm going to clarify the Ace of Swords with the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is bringing in the change that presents the Ace of Swords, which is the new beginning. This is what we're focusing on. I'm going to pull some cards on that really quick. Okay. So I can. Okay, Starter Tarot. I thought I was going to save that for over there, but apparently not. I focused on this falling, and that so none of this is none of the, and that I don't do books. Clarify, please. What is the change? Okay, hold on. You might have anxiety and fear about a change in, I'm going to say, work and career. The Knight of Swords is going to bring in a pivot in your work and career. It either adds an element that you were not anticipating, or it actually pivots you onto a brand new path that's more clear. Ace of Swords is more clear because Ace of Swords clears bullshit, right? So does the Knight of Swords. So there, if there's like any little bit of resistance to the path, the way in which you thought you were moving forward, the pivot is actually to make the path easier and clearer, which is going to propel you through it faster. But it is a swift change. It just kind of like feels like it presents out of nowhere. Okay, so this is going to get specific. It's obviously not going to be for everybody, but I do actually feel a lot of energy behind it, which means this isn't like one of those things where I'm like, oh, this could only be for one person. It's not. Like there's a group of people that are being ushered in, like a change that's going to happen very quickly with work. Because we have the Nine of Swords here, which is like fear. And so it's the type of change where you're like, you may feel either unprepared or like, I don't know how to do that, or like I've already done all this preparatory work over here. Where'd this come from? You know what I mean? Makes sense? Because this is what I'm getting here. We got the King of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Somebody want to tell me that's not finances and career? Because the Eight of Pentacles, for sure. Look at the way that he's looking at this. Look at how he reminds me of like those Marvel movies where like Iron Man has the little computer and he's like, like he's got a very specific skill set that benefits many and people rely upon him kind of thing. Take a look at this one. See this? See how he's moving things around and like he's working. He is very focused, heavily paying attention to a particular skill. And it's like, so this is like, this is this is work. This is a new focus of work. It's again, either an element being added in or an actual pivot from where your focus has been in work. And King of Pentacles feels very much so, I keep getting a very emperor type of energy where I may not be the boss, right? But it puts me on my throne. Like I may not be the top dog, but this puts me back in control of my life, of my finances, and my trajectory, because the King of Pentacles can execute everything, right? I believe you move through the suits. You don't become the King of Pentacles without having been the King of Swords, King of Wands, King of Cups. You have the emotional maturity, the mental acuity and knowledge. You have the drive, the passion, the motivation, the dedication of the King of Wands. It's like all of that is what lends someone becoming the King of Pentacles. So there's something about this that I don't feel that this is somebody else. I feel that all of these are saying you're going to be put in the hot seat, or you're going to be put in the driver's seat. Like, I don't know if this is going to have more responsibility than you anticipated, or if it's one of those situations where you kind of like somebody is like willing to give you something you feel you're not yet qualified for, but it's like sink or swim kind of thing. Like, there's not like a lot of preparatory work to go into this. But I want to say you might bring a specific skill set to this, because there's a lot of like, this is you stepping into something, and then the Eight of Pentacles being very focused, like taking the lead and being very focused. Like, you're almost going to have to be in charge of your own learning curve, or your own like learn as you go, sink or like, it gives me that energy of like sink or swim. Like, you feel like this is not quite what I've done before, even if it was in the wheelhouse, and they just kind of go have at it, and you're like, or maybe you haven't done something on this level, or that kind of thing. Like, there's just this feeling. It's a pivot that puts you in the King of Pentacles energy. Like, you're in control of your career, your finances, and your life. And it takes you, like, it's going to take you to the Ten of Pentacles. This is the kind of thing that when you delve into this and you take charge, and you like I want to say there's a very I get this feeling of honing your skill set. Like, this is next level stuff. This isn't Seven of Pentacles where I'm learning, though. But I do feel there's element of, I don't really know this, or I haven't done this in this capacity. But it's like you hit the ground running. Thank you. I kept saying you dive right in, and it's like, I don't think or so. I'm like, that sounds so bad, right? Like, you hit the ground running with this. The Eight of Pentacles has a very in chart. Like, Seven of Pentacles would be like entry level type stuff, in my opinion. Fresh out of college kind of stuff, like, or going back to school to study for something, and it's a phase where I plant the seeds. This is beyond planting the seeds. Okay. And it's like, this is obviously something you're going to be able to stick with from the 8 to the 10. And the 10 is all about longevity, and the 10 of Pentacles impacts so many areas of your life and so many people. It's something that is can become bigger than you, right? It's like getting a job that leads you, like, it's the path that takes you to all the other positions that you're going to need to become the CEO, the emperor, the whatever kind of thing. Like, but it's more than an entry. It's more than a Seven of Pentacles. But I also feel like you skip the Seven of Pentacles. So there is going to be a learning curve with this, whatever it is, which is probably the reason why you're like, I'm not so sure. I don't know. So tell us about how that goes from this to this. So good fortune and friendship is taking you in a trajectory where you meet you have a new network of individuals coming in. There's a lot of fortunate events, is what I want to say, that stem from this. Is probably why it goes from the 8 to the 10. And then love and prosperity is, you're going to love the thing that brings you prosperity. Like, you dive in and make it your own, is what I just heard. I wasn't going to say that. They are literally just supplanting shit. And I'm like, okay. All right. That's where we're at today. So let's talk about that. Let's focus on that a little bit. if you feel ill prepared or like it's not quite in your wheelhouse or it was unexpected, you may feel like it will fail because you just don't feel energetically ready. And the thing is, that's not really it. It's not that you're not ready for something like this. You're just too close to the old chaos. It's too easy for you to dip back into that energy and remember what it feels like. And so that fear is still close to you, right? And you can kind of experience it. So that's not what that is. Like maybe you felt like you would be out of the chaos and the inner turmoil and in the new for a little bit before it like that, right? That would be the Seven of Pentacles. Getting your feet wet, getting reacclimated to it, all that kind of stuff. And it's like this comes in so quickly and fast that you're like, I was gonna have a little more time. Where are we going to go with this one? We're going to talk about this. Okay. Secret Tarot. They're giving me, is it Aladdin? A whole new world. You know that song from... So I've got the Four of Cups with the Ace of Wands on the split. And the Ace of Wands is really speaking to me. Four of Cups is a little bit reserved, right? And it's like... The Ace of Wands is like... there's a level of excitement with this that might feel scary. You know how sometimes like you're like your brain's not scared, but like the energy it elicits within you, because that's what it's feeling like to me. Ace of Wands is like it's definitely a new project. It's a new area of passion. I want to say that you're going to like this more than you initially think you will. Again, you're coming from the state where you're used to the Five of Cups energy mixed with the Three of Swords. And so it's like you're used to casting things negatively. Like, I would never like that. I can't even see how I could enjoy something like that. Like, I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I do get that sense from somebody where it's like, you just can't see, someone could be like, the spirit could be like, you're going to love this. And you're like, fuck, that's how? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, you know what I mean? So maybe there's, for those where something is being added to the path ahead, you're like, I didn't know this was going to be an element of this. You might be like you're in that kind of an energy. But let's talk about how we get over to the good fortune and friendship. Let's talk about that. It's funny we haven't got to the downloads, but I actually think we're going to get to the downloads. You're going to be getting guidance, and I feel like there's one that's looming that they want me to touch on. I'm sure you're going to have a lot. Like, I get whatever this pivot is, it allows you to have more enjoyment in your life and feel more fulfilled in the present moment with all of, you know what I mean? In all areas. We've got the Ace of Cups with the Queen of Pentacles. Remember, the Queen of Pentacles is considered the badass bitch because she got it all. She's the person that can work, family's in order. She manages her home. She manages herself, her dating life, her marriage, her whatever, like family, work, finances, everything. Like she's got, like, she's taking care of it all. And she's, especially when it's in the upright, she's managing that shit so well and enjoying it. Like, nothing feels out of balance. She's the epitome of balance. She's got this shit. I got it. right? Ace of Cups is that level of enjoyment. And so I'm just picturing somebody like, my cup is full with everything that's going on. This is the rebirth after struggle. We've got the death card with the 5 of Wands. And again, remember with the Star Child, where they're like, you've been protected. And you're like, I don't feel like I was protected. And they're like, seriously, in all honesty, it's the same energy as the 5 of Wands. Was it not fun? Absolutely. What did it have chaos to it? Absolutely. Did it feel conflictual? Mm-hmm. Did you die? No, bitch, you can't die from a wand. This ain't the swords. Okay? Like whatever it was, you might have bruises and you might have a few scrapes, but it was like it wasn't what but that's ending. There's going to be a rebirth after this. That's what this is talking about. This pivot, this change that is ushered in, that you might not feel quite ready for, and take it aback a little bit, because it's like an element that's added, or it's a pivot that you weren't anticipating. You were seeing things, and your little gremlin's too close. You can still hear that motherfucker. You're like, okay, you know what I mean? And it's like you didn't anticipate the change happening as quickly as you, after getting out of that shit. You were like, I thought I have a little more time here. I thought I'd get my seaworthy legs again, and it's quite not happening. And it's like, this is on the heels, like the rebirth happens after this is your rebirth, okay, into feeling really good, like feeling well rooted, like you can manage every area of your life, and like your cup is full, like you feel fulfilled. You're transitioning with this death process from the 5 of Wands to a place where you're actually making things happen. Like things are manifesting within your world. Okay. What's that got to do with? You didn't let yourself enjoy much in the last cycle, in the last little phase. They're saying you're really going to be able to finally feel good about everything. They're showing me somebody who okay, this, like, how like when you clean your house, you get one room done, and so you move to the next room and you finally get that done, you come back to the other one, you're like, fuck, like it's messed the fuck up again. It's like you were juggling too much and nothing, like you couldn't just like, can I just have a clean house? Can it all just be it's like always constantly putting out fires, or it's always something. If it isn't love life, it's this. If it isn't this, then it's that. And it's like, oh my fucking God. So this is the energy of moving into managing it all and feeling good and feeling like your cup is full with it. Feel like just your heart feels good about everything. And so they're saying that's what they're talking about. There's going to be a lot of good fortune. There's going to be connections made, and you're going to be loving what you're doing while improving the status of your life. And so the 6 of Swords is that transitory period of going from that chaos, the 5 of Wands, to making shit fucking happening, right? Like to your manifestations. But what is this? Like, I feel we always have, okay, what time are we? Okay, we're at an hour. I'll tell you what, it's always something. It's 10 o'clock. So if this feels like it comes in a lot quicker and you're not quite prepared, listen to the downloads, listen to your premonitions about this. Like listen to that versus the little, like that part of you that's still caught up in the old energy and still can feel that and wants to respond that way. Don't listen to that, okay? Because it's taking you exactly where you want to go. So following your intuition. So let's talk about the intuition. Let's talk about that. What downloads are they going to be getting? I mean, okay, obviously there's something coming about that. What type of, is that going to be too specific to go into? I feel like we might be able to tap a little bit on it. Because the change is imminent and intuitive hits are going to be imminent. Like there's going to be some definite the deciding factor needs to be what you internally know to be true. So we got the Hermit, which is all about following your North Star. The North Star within, or your lantern, is your truth. It is your divinity within, right? So Spirit's going to be speaking to you through you in regards to a decision that you have to make. The fear might try to convince you to not move forward, but what specifically is going to be, it is about this new start, because we do have the egg over top of the Two of Swords. There is a need to hone in your focus when this comes in. Like not having the distraction of other people's opinions. It's like there's a definite need to solely rely on the visions and downloads that you're getting. Funny, we have the Three of Swords again. Take a look at this one, though. Look at how these are the two people. Okay? These are the two people here that are in this one, right? They have the Two Swords. The decision about a new beginning, right? If you don't listen to the intuition and stuff like that when making this decision, I feel like that new beginning, you're going to be very upset if you miss out on it. This is not one of those times where it's like this new added element. Like if you don't make your decision based upon what you know intuitively and spiritually, instead of the noise, is what I want to say, that new opportunity is going to get desecrated. And I don't think you're going to be happy about it either. So it's almost like if you allow the voices to have you hem and haw about it, that might be why they're talking imminent future, because they're like, this is time sensitive. You're going to have to take charge and do this. Do not delay. In the Emperor came out. I told you that King of Pentacles felt like the Emperor. Do not delay this anymore. We got the Ten of Wands next to it, which is like almost home, but take a look at the Ten of Wands here. That egg that we keep seeing, it's finally hatched. Like there's a level of taking charge. I want to ask though about this Emperor really quick. Give me just a second. It flipped and it didn't flip up though. It did like a complete 360. We're gonna put this one back. This is the one that came out. It's a level of taking charge and not allowing the whatever this. There's a level of either fear or an unknown factor. We got the moon with the Eight of Pentacles again. There's you may feel like you're missing information, or there's a part of you that doesn't know everything, and it's like, don't hold back, okay? Don't let that be, don't like slow your pace down. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Emperor is, this is the take fucking charge. Take charge in this scenario. It's almost like desecrating, the choice is to desecrate and move beyond the burdens that you've been experiencing. This is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to move beyond some type of a burden. This is going to keep you moving along your path. Two of Pentacles. Remember with this one, technically, like it's you're building something here. You're building something. You, instead of like a choice between two things, it is a choice about continuing to move along that path. It's like you're going to have to, there may be elements to certain things that you're not aware of, and they're going to be introduced in, and or maybe the addition to something, or the pivot is how quickly something comes in. You're like, oh, I thought my path looked like this, and it's almost like you didn't realize you're going to be skipping the Seven of Pentacles. You're going straight to the fucking Eight of Pentacles, and you're like, okay, then. Alrighty. And that's going to take you aback. Do not, it feels like they want to say, you don't have time to be in the Seven of Pentacles, because that is going to create an issue for you that you're not going to like. Okay? So there is actually something about not pumping the brake, not hemming and hawing, but taking the action that you're going to need to take. And I feel like you're going to feel compelled, like you're going to, oh, I should do X, Y, and Z. Do it. I think whatever downloads or visions you're getting surround this. And it's almost as if, especially like between the Hermit and the Two of Pentacles, it's like as you feel unprepared and like, just do it. We're gonna give you information step by step. We know that you don't know any, like there's an element that is so fucking unknown that it may create fear within you about this. It could just be your level of skill that you feel like is not there. We've got the Two of Pentacles where it is one step at a time. And that's the same with the Hermit, right? The Hermit's lantern doesn't light up the entire fucking path. You literally can only see right the fuck in front of you. So the Hermit is also talking about something that's imminent. So it's like Spirit's not going to be giving you things and premonitions about things that are like super down the road. Like they're going to walk, as you're walking, they're going to be saying, right? So it's almost like a need to consistently listen. This is why it feels like it's a conversation, because it is a information given and then a response, information given and then a response. Like there's this working in tandem with Spirit right now. So what is coming? What does the imminent decision look like? Or is there anything extra you can give us about that? I feel like we've danced around it and given us so much information. But let's talk about this next week. This is your opportunity, what you've been wanting to move forward on, okay? Because this arises is the Wish card, the Nine of Cups type of thing. It is your desires. It is, the possibility of moving forward on a desire of yours, but it's also about pulling up anchor and moving to new shores. So this is like having to go into new territory to achieve your desire. I want to say, don't fool yourself that I hate to make you feel like, I don't want anybody to ever just like Knight of Wands something and just impulsively go for something, but you have a tendency to talk yourself out of shit. And so if you contemplate something for too long, you will take too fucking long. And there could be negative consequences because of that. You need to be in the flow and not allow pivots or changes to stop you. If you choose to go into this area, right, you pull up shop, not pull up shop, you pull up anchor and move into your to new territory. This is going to propel you forward. This is going to give you a lot more momentum. Okay, it's going to move you faster. Like this is going to give you sudden movement. Like whatever this is, if you choose to do it, will give you sudden movement within your career. And a quicker route, I want to say, to financial stability. Like it skips the Seven of Pentacles, guys. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Whatever this is, it's like it may feel overwhelming, or you may feel like you weren't anticipating it and everything else like that. And you're like, something about that. Something feels off to you, but the offness is because you skip the Seven of Pentacles. And of course, like we said, you're over here so used to this energy, the Five of Cups, focusing on the negative and all the ways it can go wrong and things ending up bad and not going your way and that kind of thing, that you're like, probably not a good idea to skip the Seven of Pentacles. Like I could see how that would just, and they're like, no, that's part of the plan. It's like you get to, this propels you faster on your path. Don't be afraid of it. You may be convinced about a sequence of events that need to happen. And it's like you skip a few steps. And you're like, oh. And they're like, yes, do it. Go for it. But it's funny because you're skipping steps, but it's almost like they're saying you're going to get guidance every time you take action. So it's almost like they're not going to give you information so you're like, okay, if I skip this step, everything's going to be like this. And what's going to happen if I do this then? And what's that going to be like? And Spirit's like, I'm not giving you all that. Focus on this right now. Take it. And then when you take it, the next step will be revealed. And so like you're gonna have, this forces you to stay in constant conversation with Spirit and with your internal realm and with your intuition. And it's like one step at a time gets revealed. And so that's what they're saying. Like that's what you need to, yeah. You're skipping steps. I want to say like things that are visible external, but like and because of that, there's a lot of unknown for you. And so it's like, just instead of getting panicked, go within, listen. You're getting information as you move along. They're not going to give you information 10 steps ahead, right? So it's like there's a need to really pay attention, right? So like if I'm having to skip a couple of steps, like something coming in and it's like, that's not exactly how I saw it. And so it's like, you feel compelled to do it though, or you're getting like it might align with certain premonitions or downloads. You're like, oh, and it's like, listen to it, do it. And then once you get into that spot, check back in. There's a process here. It's weird because it looks like you're skipping things externally in the pentacle realm in your 3D, like things you really thought you were supposed to, but technically by not doing the Seven of Pentacles, you're actually moving along and progressing. Where'd you go? Two of Pentacles. Like skipping a step is the next step. But then you don't know anything beyond that because you got to get there first before more information comes in. There's this whole, that's what it feels like. That's good. I feel good. I feel like I got it. 114. Okay, so let's see what. Let's see here. The last phase was definitely very exhausting and effective to do that. I can feel them. That's your solar. That's the seat of your power, of your confidence, of your drive, your will, your determination, self-worth, all of that. The where you feel it in your gut. So you may have a sudden turn of events. It may not be quite exactly what you thought. It's going to be a definite pivot in your path. It may take faith and constant conversation with spirit, because it's something that feels like you're not exactly quite ready for, or you don't see how that is beneficial to jump to that step first before doing the other thing. And it's like there's some reason where it's like you don't need to be in the 7 of Pentacles, you need to be in the 8 of Pentacles, and that's going to take you to the 10 of Pentacles. Like, you know what I mean? It's like yeah. You know, sometimes it's like there's a sense of skipping the growth period. Like, you would, again, you think that you're going to do something, and like, I'll do this job for 3 years before I get this kind of a job. And it's like you go right to that job and you're like, oh, you know, but there is a slingshot that's happening in your life, and it hinges on a decision that you're about to make, and it's really close. So it's like things are going to move fast and different here in the next little bit. So, all right, I hope that's beneficial and helps whoever and finds whoever it's meant for. By all means, I hope you have a fantastic and wonderful day. Hold on 1 second, let me. Much love to you, and I will see you later on. I don't know if I'm going to come on this weekend. I might. If not, I will see you on Monday. Have a great day, guys.